just to have, what would be the best thing for me to get?
There are firearms specifically for uh, people who are older. Uh, there's the 380 Easy from Smith and Wesson. It has I don't know. I don't think it'd be in this catalog because it's kind of newer, but I say newer, but it's probably been quite a few years. But yeah, it's got a lighter slide, so it's easy to rack. Um,
I had one here that Marty let me have. And Brian took it all apart and cleaned it up. I mean, he took it all apart. He even had a little tiny piece he couldn't find out where to put it, and she looks it up on her phone, on the computer, um, to show him where to put it and how to put it back in there. But it just sparkled when he got through with it. But he wanted to shoot it first after he cleaned it up, and we never did get it done. So here a while back, I gave it back to Marty. I didn't want it in the house because Dale's not supposed to have a gun. And I didn't want him searching my house and finding a gun in here,
Thinking it belonged to him.
I don't know what reason they would have to, ever search my house, but with things that are going on now, you never know.
Yeah.
But the one that he had that I liked the best, I couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
I never saw such a stiff trigger on a gun.
Was it a revolver?
I just couldn't pull even with both fingers. I couldn't pull.
Oh wow.
Now this one I didn't have no trouble pulling the trigger on it. And it had a clip, that went in it. The clip wasn't hard to put in it. Just put it in there and kind of hit it with the heel of your hand, when it go right up where it was supposed to.
Right.
But then when it come to pulling the thing back,
Yeah, the slide.
Yeah, I had trouble with that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I can't use that BB gun. I can't pull that back.
Oh.
When we first got it, I could. But I don't know whether somebody's dropped it or what, but I can't pull it back now. Because this shoots both BBs and slugs. And I can't pull the thing back on it.
Yeah.
I was shooting cats with it. Or shooting at them.
Yeah.
I doubt I ever hit one, but... Because I'd go out there and they'd be sitting up on the porch. And I seen a squirrel come up here last night, get on the thing across the gate, and go, I guess, I don't know whether he went on top of the trailer or whether he went over in one of these trees. But I could hear his claws, as he was trying to get on top of the trailer. And, see, I thought that's what was trying to come through that hole up there.
Oh.
Was a squirrel or something. But then I didn't see him after that. But I hear something on the porch at night. It sounds like somebody rattling the doorknob. And it's not. There's something going up over.
Oh, you think they're climbing up the grate on your door maybe?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I hear birds sometimes. They climb around on the screen on my window sometimes. Yeah. And I heard something cracking leaves next to my window, and when I looked out the window, there was a little raccoon, just walking around just outside the window, and he didn't even know I was looking at him. So he was just, sniffing the ground, walking around, and then he turned his head and he went, and he's shot off into the trees. But yeah, I saw it was, yeah, because I don't know, I just heard the sounds. I was like, what is that noise? And I was like, what was going on out there? But it's just a little raccoon.
Huh.
Yeah, just sniffing around.
Well, Dale said there was 4 out here one night. in my bird seed.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But I don't open that door after dark.
It's a good idea.
And if somebody knocks on it, I want to know who it is. And they need to answer, because if they don't, I'm not opening my door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just ain't going to.
That's smart.
I used to sit there with that door open, all the time.
Yeah.
I sat there of an evening with it open. And I've walked around this trailer park many times after dark. But I sure wouldn't do it now, you know.
I'm sure the people aren't all the same anymore.
I just wouldn't do it now. Nope. I tell you what, somewhere in this house, there is a big yellow grasshopper.
Yeah.
I took the trash out yesterday, and he was sitting on the side of the trash can. The old grasshopper.
Oh
One of
gosh.
them big yellow grasshoppers. And I guess he must have got on my clothes or something, on my pants leg or something. But I took the trash out, and I come back in the house, and I don't know, I was in here for a long time. And I went back to the bathroom. I didn't feel anything on me, I never, but when I got up off the tall stool and went to pull my outside pants up, I pulled them up, and I guess that grasshopper must have jumped off of me into my palm of my hand. Man, I screamed like a banshee. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Because it was so unexpected. And it kind of scratched, like grasshoppers' legs do.
Yeah.
And I heard him when he hit the wall. But I don't know where he went after that.
Yeah.
But it scared me. I don't know what I thought it was. Because after I thought just for a minute, I knew what it was. And he's back there someplace. I thought if that thing jumps on me during the night, I'll be screaming my head off. Because he was a big old grasshopper. And I didn't feel him get on me.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting on the side of the trash can. I never felt him jump on me. Yeah, we used to play with those things all the time. They make the best fish bait. They make good fish bait. If you take those back legs off of them, better fish bait. But we used to. And they had these great big old flying gray ones. I don't see any of those anymore. But there used to be very plentiful. And I noticed a long time ago we had these little bitty grasshoppers all over the place out there, when I'd go outside on the flowers and stuff. But
You don't really see him much anymore.
someplace in his house, that big old grasshopper is in here. And he's going to jump on me. I know he is.
Well, at least you'll have some idea what it is this time.
I looked in the bathroom. I moved the trash can and everything. I looked in the bathroom. And I didn't see him. I thought maybe I heard him this morning. But I don't know whether it was that or one of them water bottles that fell over. Because it just rustled the plastic on it,
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know whether it was a grasshopper or. But I can't imagine me screaming that way. But it just, of course, first thing I thought about was mouse, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, there ain't no mice back here, you know. And but the way it jumped into my hand, so I know it was that grasshopper. Scared the crap out of me, I'm telling you. Do you ever go fishing?
I probably haven't gone fishing in over a decade.
You're not a fishing person, huh?
No, not much of an outdoors person to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably last time I went fishing was, oh gosh, long time ago.
That really surprises me. Lisa June, she used to fish all the time. Me and her used to go fishing, you know, and me and Rita used to go fishing a lot. We go to people's ponds, but you know they won't harm nobody unless you fish in their ponds anymore, because people that they have let fish have left trash around their ponds and stuff like that, left gates open and stuff like that, and they just won't hardly let you even fish anymore. And besides that, you can't trust anybody anymore, you know. Not like you used to. Because we used to go and we'd open the gate and shut the gate. You know, didn't have a problem with it, but there's sure a problem now. Because if they don't know you and haven't and have known you for 50 years, you're going to be lucky to even get on their place. And you can't blame them. I mean, you know, people's having trucks and cars and stuff, and horses stolen right out of their driveways. And this one guy had his truck taken right out of his driveway. But when I pulled up out here, when I got out of my car, when I shut the engine off, I took the keys out and I locked the doors.
Yeah.
I never left my car sit out here with the doors unlocked. And I had 2 keys for it. And if I had to start it in the wintertime and let it warm up, I shut the door and locked it, and I had a key that I could open it with.
Wow.
Because I made sure I always had 2 keys. And except one time I went to Orscheln's and locked my keys in the car. If I'd left them in the ignition, I couldn't have locked it. It wouldn't lock if you had them in the ignition. But I laid them down in the seat. Went out to get in the car to leave. Couldn't leave. And that was me and Dale done that. And Brian lived in town. And I called him, and he come out here and got my keys. And got my keys back in there so we could leave to come home. We couldn't even put the stuff we bought in the car because you couldn't open the doors. I had an old white 62 Chevy, and I either ran out of gas or locked the keys in it at least 3 times a week.
Gosh.
I don't know why I was so bad about locking it, but it was the window on it, on the driver's side, and it had the little button, you know, that you could put a clothes hanger around and pull up on it, you know. And I don't know how many times I had to run that clothes hanger through there, but it was just enough room for the wire clothes hanger to go through that, and then if you was lucky enough to get it around that little button, you know, pull up on it, you're fine. But I'd drive to work, and if I didn't run out of gas getting there, I'd lock the keys in the car, one or the other. I ran out of gas, I don't know how many times. And I drove all the way to Boonville. They had a gas war. going on, what's called a gas war. And at that time, the gas was something like 18 cents a gallon, really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I drove all the way over there now to put gas in my car. Drove on over Boonville and come back, and the station was on this side of Boonville on Old 40 Highway. And I thought, well, I need to stop and put gas in the car. Well, about 2 miles before I got to the station, the car died, out of gas. Instead of stopping when I went by to start with and putting gas in it, I was going to put it in when I came back. I didn't make it back. And some guy come down the road, and he stopped and he said, "Do you need a ride?" And I said, "No." And I had the gas can in my hand, you know. I packed the gas can all the time. I had the gas can in my hand. And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, it looks to me like you might be out of gas." I said, "Yes, I am." But I said, "The other station's not very far up the road." I said, "I'll walk up and get some gas for it." "Well, I'd be glad to give you a ride." No. And he kept looking at me kind of strange, you know. And he said, "You know," he said, "I know who your daddy is." I said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "You know how I know?" And I said, "No, how do you know?" He said, "'Cause you look just like him." And I thought, I don't know who you are, but I don't think I look that much like my daddy. But anyway, he said, "Your daddy's Joe Camel." And he said, "I've known him for years." And I said, "Yeah, maybe." But I said, "I don't know you." He said, "Well, my name's Tommy Patton." And I said, "I've heard Daddy talk about you many, many times." Well, he said, "My name's Tommy Patton." And he said, I know you need help to get gas, to put gas in your car." And I stood there for a long time, you know, he kept talking and kept talking. And I thought, if this is not Tommy Patton and I get in a car with that guy, you know, I don't know for sure that that's who he is. But anyhow, I wound up getting in the car with him. He took the gas can, filled it up, took me back to the car, put the gas in the car, you know. And he said, "See, everything's fine." I said, "Yeah, but it could have not been, you know." But I should have known who he was. I knew the name, because Daddy talked about him all the time. That when he said I looked like my daddy, I said, no. I don't look like my daddy. And I got to thinking here a while back. I was standing back there in the bathroom, and I thought, "You don't look like your daddy." And then I thought, well, I don't know, maybe. Daddy had dark hair, had a natural part right in the middle of his hair, you know. I've got that. My hair parts in the middle. I don't care what you do with it. It parts in the middle.
Yeah.
But Daddy had dark hair. There was 2 other blonde kids in the family. Because Daddy had dark hair. Mama had kind of brown hair.
I think
Me and 2 of my brothers had blonde hair. Everybody else dark hair and hazel eyes. And us 3 were blonde-headed and blue-eyed. So, did the grasshopper come in here?
no. I think I heard I think I heard your squirrel climbing on your trailer, and then I saw him jump across to a tree branch over there.
That's what I was wondering, if maybe he's jumping over there.
Yeah, yeah, because I hear just
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, what is that noise?
Well, if he's jumping in the tree, that's fine. As long as he's not trying to get in the roof of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to have Dale or Marty one till they get up there and make sure that Scott fixed that place up there. But there's one back in the bathroom that's about the size of the end of my thumb right now.
Mm-hmm.
That somebody needs to do the same thing too. And I'll get Scott to do it, I guess. But I don't know. These squirrels are. The one that sits in the box out there and eats out of the box, he is the prettiest thing. But now that one that I seen come up over the thing last night, he's not very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
His tail's all messed up. I think that cats had a hold of him. But the one that sits in the box, he's all white in the front. He's gray, but he's all white in the front, just a pretty white. And his paws are white. This part of his face is white. He's very pretty.
Mm.
And he's not very big. But I think he sits up in the tree and says, well, she'll be out here one of these pretty soon. Because I no more than get it in there and turn around and head back to the house. He's already in the box.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for you.
So he's waiting for it. But I guess that's all right. I really would prefer that they didn't eat my sunflower seed. I bought sunflower seed all summer long when I normally don't feed the birds in the summer. But it just gives me something to do now, you know. Because I don't go nowhere. Scared to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff going around. I hope Scott's all right. He's on vacation until tomorrow, I guess. But my sister, her daughter, and her husband, and 2 kids have all got that virus. They're in Illinois, so I'm in no danger from it. But
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know whether you remember who Sammy was or not, my brother Sammy.
I don't remember him clearly.
Well, anyway, his daughter and her husband and 2 of their 4 girls has it.
Wow.
So it just, Talitha has been really sick. And the girl that got it first at the nursing home, she was really sick. Jimmy, her husband, they said all he did was run just a slight temperature. He didn't have any of the other symptoms. So.
Yeah.
And you can get the stuff more than once. That's if you was immune to it after the first time, it would, it'd be bad enough, but not as bad as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it more than once, well, it's just going to keep cycling and cycling. And they said this one little kid at school tested positive for it. Well, he's quarantined. The whole class of 38 kids are all quarantined. All the teachers that was there are, and all the parents are. That's a lot because one kid got exposed to it from somewhere. Probably at school.
Yeah. They were packed in there.
Yeah. Yep, I think they're making a mistake by opening the schools up right now.
Hmm.
But then they're supposed to know what they're doing.
And you don't believe they do they?
No, I don't know. But this nursing home said as long as a person was, what's a symptomatic mean?
Asymptomatic, that means you don't show any symptoms. So
Okay.
you wouldn't have the fever, for example.
Yeah, okay. Well, they said as long as you were that, you could go ahead and work.
Hmm.
But you can give it to everybody else.
Yeah.
But they said you could go ahead and work. And 88 of their patients had that. No telling how many of the employees, has got it. And then she got it, and gave it to her mom, and her dad, and her brother. And
Yeah. Anyone you interact with closely.
but, see, they've been sick, I think, since the 10th, I think. No, it was before that. No, they've been sick since the 10th. And Tina Ann and her family's been sick since the 9th.
Mm.
So they're all of them doing, doing pretty good.
Yeah. No mortality issues there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different for a lot of people.
Yeah, they said 10 of those. And then somebody told Talitha, said, yeah, but I bet all nursing homes are like that. And she said, no, they're not. Because she said the one here in Granite City that's close to where I'm at, she said they've had 2 active cases is all they've had. And they took care of everything, and they've not had any more. And it's a nursing home. But they're following all the guidelines and everything that they're supposed to do. This other one apparently is not.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. But it's scary. It scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm old and fragile. So I don't want it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about getting it from me. I tested negative for the antibodies.
Oh, I don't want you to get it. I don't want you sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody sick. But it happens anyway, But it's just really strange. Talitha and her daughter were tested on Saturday. The girl that actually worked there tested negative, and her mom tested positive. Well, because of that, they all had to go in Tuesday and get tested. They all tested positive.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure
And all of them were sick.
Yeah, the transmission's probably pretty high if you're in the same house.
And Tina's family, Tina said she got it at school. That's probably where she got it at.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was worried that they got it down at that funeral, my brother-in-law that passed away. I thought maybe they got it down there, and Scott was with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been worried about him, and worried about 9 and HD because Talitha and her husband was at their house. Hello?